Before we add shading, we need to talk about pathing. Pathing is how the elements of your design hook together. As much as possible, you should think of your design as one continuous piece of thread from start to finish that just changes colors at certain points. A good design minimizes hopscotching around all over the place to keep excess hoop movements to a minimum. This will keep your design more aligned with better registration. More detailed guidelines for pathing are included in the course. Generations will connect disparate parts of the design that are the same color if it can sneak through other areas. So, for example, if we look at our leaves, if I hide the yellow petals, you can see how it's just drawn these lines, and these are running stitches or what's known as travel stitches through the design to get to the other parts. If we were sewing this on a very light fabric and maybe we changed our flower petals to a very pale yellow and this was a very dark green, those stitches might show. We might want a little bit more control. Generations does a lot of things automatically for you, and they might work and they might not be optimal. So depending on your situation and your level of tolerance for perfection, you may want to add your own pathing in, and that's what we're going to do in this video. So let's check the overall pathing of the design. I'll turn this back on. I'll start by selecting the first frame in the design, and you can see that it's this left half of the first top leaf, and it starts at the bottom and it exits at the top. In is where the design element starts, out is where the stitches exit. The next piece is the right half, and then we jump over here, actually it travels underneath, the bottom half of the next leaf, then the top half of the next leaf, and then the bottom and the top. And you can see this is not very efficient. So we're going to resequence these. Now a lot of novice generations users prefer to use optimized stitching order. Really this, in my opinion, should be called optimized color order because it doesn't always produce the most efficient sewing order. I prefer to use set stitching order. And we're just going to click the leaf halves in the order that we want them to sew. And when we're done, we press enter and generate. And now let's check our leaves. So we start at the top, come out at the bottom, in and out at the bottom, in at this side, out at that side. And you can see how these connect together. Now if I turn off my leaf, it's changed our pathing here, but I might want to change that and make it a little bit more efficient. But first, let's optimize our stitches a little bit better here. I want to come in here and out here and in and out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and in, out. Right click off, generate. The next step is I'm going to draw in some manual travel stitches. I really prefer to control the travel stitches rather than let generations be my travel agent. Let's turn our flower back on and we'll use that as a guide. So I'm going to create freehand line and just draw in some little travel stitches. And I like to draw just inside the outside edge, about 1 millimeter or so. Works well. I find this usually hides the stitches pretty well. Now they're not in the right order, but we can just move them. So we need to move this one before number 3, and this one we can just click and drag up there. And we need to make them all the same color. And generate. Now if I turn off my flower, you can see that we have a nice neat path going around here. Now we're ready to add the shading. By optimizing our leaves now, we'll save time when we add the shading because we're going to duplicate these leaves and use them to create our shading. So save the flower, and I'm going to just do a save as flower 3. A lot of times I like to do incremental saves, so if I make some horrible boo-boo, I can go back to a previous version. Let's take one final look at our design. I'll turn the flower back on, and if we scroll up, you'll see that Generations has added a trim here. This is an unnecessary trim between the two leaf halves. These should connect. So I'm going to turn that off, and we'll just work back through our leaves here to make sure that they're still pretty optimized. And they look pretty good to me. I'll generate again, save our design, and now we're ready to move on to the next step.